PSVR2 has got a secret update and it's now a lot better. I can't believe this. I was making a video comparing this headset with something else, and as soon as I went into all of the games apart from one I'm going to let you know, which is very disappointing, I've noticed a massive graphical increase. Can you see the text ahead of me? I hope you can in the recording. That is now crystal sharp and clear and tracked absolutely perfectly. So let's roll back a little bit. What were the issues with PSVR 2? What were the lies that were going around and what has changed? But firstly, I want to go over to this ball. I want to go over. Come, I want to hit it. Like, so basically, PSVR 2, when it first came out, had some pretty glaring issues. The glaring issue that I think a lot of people misreported on, I think there were a lot of influencers and reviewers who basically got a free headset, did like a half-assed thing, and then moved on to their next thing, and misreporting this was the fact it wasn't a true 4K experience in any way. This can never be a true 4K experience because I'm sharing a 4K screen here. So in each eye, I'm not going to get that 4K experience. It's not something like other headsets we see, like Pimax are doing, where you can actually have that. So that was pretty clear off the bat, even though people said it. The main thing is that it was really blurry. It was really blurry, really grainy, really muddy, and I'm sure there's lots of people watching the video right now who bought a headset and are just nodding like, yes, it was really blurry and muddy, and I know a lot of you returned it. Now, I stuck with it, but I made, in all my videos clear, I was the only person I think to do this on YouTube, really, to say, look, do not buy this headset if you're expecting a crystal clear experience. It's going to be grainy, it's going to be blurry. It's more like an evolved PSVR 1 that was really low quality in terms of the resolution and everything. The other issue that I think now I can see really compounded this was tracking issues. Now, personally, I had a huge amount of tracking issues. Let's go to a nicer biome here. I was doing all sorts of things like adding infrared lights to my room, adding infrared lights to the helmet itself. I was sitting and stuff and everything was moving. I'd be standing in the game and my character would be moving. And I think that contributed to a lot of jitter and a lot of moving. This is now perfectly tracked. Like, perfectly tracked. And you've got to remember, virtual reality is a complete illusion. There is a screen strapped to my face. And when I move, the stuff on the screen shouldn't move, if that makes sense. It's quite a hard conceptual thing to explain. And what the illusion is there's a very well calibrated and very sensitive sensors that when I move my head, it shifts all of the image exactly in the other direction accordingly. So if I look down, it shifts the image up. If I look to the right, it shifts the image left. I think, if I'm getting this right. But basically that wasn't working before, and now it is. Now, these graphics are absolutely insane. Sorry, I'm in my rig, so I'm just smashing my rig to bits here. So excuse my poor kayaking, but maybe we can still go turbo mode like we used to back in the day. I want to get us out here to the bay. I wonder if that was contributing to a lot of motion sickness as well, because there was just so much movement. And it was really sort of immersion breaking as well, because I think your brain would know that you weren't in a sort of a different space. For me, the best VR experiences are not ones where it's going to make you believe. I don't really believe that I'm out in the coast of Norway right now. There's just too many things different. Like, I'm not getting water on my arms. I'm not getting not G-force, but the bobbing up and down, that sensation. So there's too many things. But a really good VR experience, I believe, makes you think that you are in a simulation, a one-to-one simulation of that space. And to be honest, this is now a lot better. Before, PSVR to me really felt... It felt like it was just a kind of a tech demo. It felt a little bit off. It didn't feel like the refined final product, and a lot of my reviews and commentary on PSVR 2 were to that effect. But now, I mean, that lightning is coming from such a fixed space in the sky. If I actually just pivot this around so we can see the coasts, you might see rocks up there. I mean, have a look here. Yes, goodness me, this is insane. Now I want to take you to another game that I found. This game has the best graphics probably on PSVR 2, And by the way, if there's any PSVR2 veterans watching this video, let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Not just me, but let the community know your thoughts. So just got to go in here to Red Matter 2. And I want to show you, I mean, look how quickly I've been able to do this. You can't do this anywhere but a console. I mean, this... I remember playing through this game, and I was going to make a whole series on it. You know, this is a decent way into the story if you know where I am. But essentially, I was fighting against it all the time. Now, and in a way, the graininess, so there still is... I want to make it clear, what you're seeing on your screen is not what I'm experiencing. Firstly, I experience it in VR. It feels like I'm in 3D. It feels like I'm in a 3D space. But also, I do have a layer of graininess that's just inherent from the fact that I'm looking through lenses. I'm looking through lenses onto the screen. And right now, when I look up here, I can see, to me, what feels like a thin sheet of lint. So if you imagine like a lint sheet kind of stretch, it looks like I'm looking through that. But in this game now, it kind of adds to the aesthetic. You know, this is a kind of space game, but imagine this was like an old nuclear facility and there's sort of radiation. It kind of adds to that. And this is not a Half-Life Alyx experience. I don't remember how to use these things even. There's a really fun one, isn't there? That one I can just... No. Where's the one where I can shoot my flares? There we go. Yeah. This is a lot better than it used to be. This is a lot better. Maybe I've just dropped out of the PSVR2 sort of like sphere. Shoot myself in the face. Oh, I've got a flare in my nose. But I want to go to a game that is disappointing. So these games are not running any reprojection. It's very sharp and it's very smooth. But I want to go to Gran Turismo 7. That is a game that is running reprojection. And this is a game that I have been playing relatively frequently on PSVR2 since I've got it. And I think this is why I haven't noticed the upgrades, because those upgrades I think are really working on games where there's no reprojection. So the reprojection here, and firstly, the VR controllers for some reason don't work in Gran Turismo. That makes literally no sense. There's no reason why these controllers should not work here. And it's not explained at all. And Gran Turismo does a really bad job of explaining VR. There should be a VR hall here. When I went to the world finals of the Gran Turismo esports, they had a whole section with VR headsets for the pro drivers to be using and getting their feedback. So, you know, why it hasn't been included more, I don't know. But what I'm going to do is, I'm actually just going to go to a track here so we can see. So this is the Genesis car. So just bear with me. I will go to a time trial, so it will just be us on track. Well, in fact, I'll just start a quick race if it will let us do it. Yes, it will. So here we go. So now we're going to see, and I'm going to have to really translate to you the difference because you're seeing a much crisper image. Yeah, this is already very blurry. So it's a much blurrier experience. Where in Red Matter 2, everything was super sharp. Here, there's just a blurriness, and that blurriness just detracts from the immersion. And that, I believe, is due to the reprojection. But even when things are very stable, because, like I said, there's a crazy illusion going on with VR where every tiny movement I make with my neck is put in the opposite direction by the PSVR2, your neck is always moving. There's always movements on the X, Y, and Z axes, if that makes sense. And so that's why I believe there's always blurring, even when it feels like you're still. So if I stay still here, everything's just super blurry. I mean, the white lines are not crisp. And in my head, this feels similar to what we had in PSVR 1, which I would stream in on Gran Turismo Sport on YouTube. Now, I'm sure if I look back, it will look, you know, much worse than this. But that's the sort of feeling I have. This feels pretty much the same as we had on launch. I think there was an update early on that made some of the elements clearer that we speculated could have been due to the foveated rendering. Sony are just not very good at letting us know what they're doing in their patches. But you can see this is a much lower resolution of the track. This feels way lower resolution than you get in the 120 hertz mode that you can choose in Gran Turismo 7 when you're racing in 2D. But not only that, it's super blurry. Now, I want to finish this video by, firstly, please do subscribe if you're enjoying it, but just have a look here at the games that are available. There are a lot more games available for PSVR2 than there were at launch, if that makes sense. That's how it should be. Stuff like Beat Saber, stuff like this Among Us VR. What else have we got? Crossfire is here as well. What else do we have? Firewall Ultra is here. Bulletstorm VR is here. So there are lots more games on PSVR 2, and I owe it to you to play these. So let me know in the comments what you've heard is good and what you would like me to play, and I'll probably spend about £100 on PSVR 2 games and go through and let you know my thoughts. So please let me know in the comments. I will go and buy them. I'll let you know. I want to do a lot more VR. I really enjoy VR. I hope this video is helpful. PSVR 2's secret update has genuinely massively improved the headset. I will see you. In fact, watch these other videos if you're curious about what it was like then so you can see the difference. And I'll see you next time.